Chief Meteorologist Paul Heggen, a lot of red flag warnings out there.
Right. Central Valley is bearing the brunt of this one. That's where the strongest winds and the lowest humidity levels are going to overlap. We still have to keep an eye on this because we're not going to be out of the woods until maybe around this time, maybe even sunset tomorrow. We're not going to get the windiest conditions. We're not going to get the lowest humidity, but conditions don't have to be perfect for fires to spread rapidly. We saw that in Southern California just last week. The system responsible for this, we've been talking about it the past couple of days, called an inside slider because it slides in from the north inside of the coastline. It's not in a position yet where it's kicked in those northerly winds just yet, but it is going to produce gusty offshore winds as it makes its way farther and farther south into the Great Basin. Right now, the winds are still mostly onshore, so temperatures are quite a bit cooler than they were 24 hours ago, anywhere from 5 to 10 degrees cooler, but they're still above average. And the gustiest winds we're seeing right now, 24 miles an hour at SFO, 22 miles an hour at Santa Rosa. That wind beginning to shift and run more parallel to the coast, but not fully offshore just yet. That's going to happen as we head through the rest of tonight. Already lower humidity levels making their way in from the Central Valley into Solano County. That's going to continue over the next couple of hours. Part of the problem is what happens overnight. Usually overnight, the humidity levels go up as temperatures go down. Those two are related to each other, but we call it humidity recovery. There's not going to be much recovery as we head through tonight. Those humidity levels inland in Napa County, Solano County, and Contra Costa County only rising up to the roughly 30% range. Usually they rise up to 40, 50, 60%. So that's an artificially suppressed already low level of moisture in the atmosphere to start the day. And it's just going to drop from there. By tomorrow afternoon, we're going to be tracking humidity levels at or below 10% for much of the North Bay into the East Bay as well. But again, we're looking for that overlap of not just dry air, but also the breeziest conditions. That's going to be over Solano County where the red flag warning is in effect. The wind advisory for parts of the North Bay, the higher elevations and inland the East Bay is going to expire at 2 o'clock because the winds are going to be starting to die down at this point, but it's still going to be a noticeable offshore breeze that continues through the rest of the day on Friday. Temperatures are all over the place right now, but not as warm as they were yesterday. It's 67 degrees downtown San Francisco, 70 across the bay in Oakland, 75 degrees in San Jose, and close to 80 in Livermore, into the 80s in both Santa Rosa and in Concord. All of these numbers are above average for the middle of May, and temperatures going to be pretty similar tomorrow. That onshore breeze did have an effect today, keeping temperatures below where they were yesterday. Tonight's temperatures should drop down a bit more than they did last night, down into the lower half of the 50s in most locations, even some mid to upper 40s in the North Bay valleys, staying a little bit warmer where that wind is going to be stronger, stirring around the atmosphere from Fairfield to Antioch to Brentwood. High temperatures tomorrow still running about 5 to 10 degrees above average. Any onshore wind is going to be kind of pushed away by those offshore winds trying to move in from the north. So temperatures in San Francisco should top 70 degrees, make it into the upper 70s in Concord. Similar temperatures for San Jose and Concord compared to what we had today. We don't completely lose the onshore influence, though, so only around 60 degrees right along the coast. Mid to upper 70s down the peninsula and around the south end of the bay, right around 80 degrees in the Santa Clara Valley. I think exactly 80 in San Jose, into the low 80s for Los Gatos and Morgan Hill. The warmest spots will be farther inland, which is where the lowest humidity levels and the strongest winds are going to be. So that's the combination we don't want to see. Mid 80s from Fairfield to Pittsburgh to Antioch to Brentwood, mostly upper 70s and low 80s for the Tri-Valley northward to Concord. Low 70s in San Francisco, upper 70s just short of 80 degrees for Oakland and the East Bay, and mostly low 80s for the North Bay, except as you go farther north, reaching up into the mid 80s around Santa Rosa. Also Windsor and St. Helena likely to reach up into the mid 80s. But even the warmest spots tomorrow stay short of 90 degrees. So at least some good news there. We're watching the fire threat throughout the day tomorrow. The weekend still looks warm, just maybe a couple degrees cooler around the bay. Temperatures farther inland are going to warm up more dramatically as we head through Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Close to 90 degrees in San Jose by Tuesday and Wednesday. Temperatures inland in the North Bay and the East Bay likely to hit or exceed 90 degrees by the middle of next week. And even along the coast, high temperatures will get up into the mid 60s for at least a couple of days.